Ahsoka, the latest Star Wars program on Disney Plus, has terrible viewership, especially when compared to its peer group, and the Walt Disney Company media spin machine is in full force today, trying to tell everybody,
Remain calm! All is well!
Here we go.
Renegade Online.
Well, folks, welcome back. Another great day here at Valiant Renegade. It's good to see everybody out there once again. And if you are like one of the many folks watching this video, not yet subscribed to this channel, please take a moment and turn that little red subscribe button to gray. Hit that like button, hit that notification bell, share this sucker out on the social medias, and of course, please do leave a comment before you head out the door today. Following the previous video where we showed you these numbers from Samba TV showing 1.2 million views measured over the first 6 days, I started to ask a few questions because that's the first time we had ever seen Samba throw out a 6-day measurement like this. We went back and looked. Everything up to this point had 3, 4, or 5-day measurements. Things like Obi Wan, Mando Season 2, Season 3. How about Book of Boba Fett and Andor? All of a sudden, we got 6 days here. And I said, I'm not sure about this. It's very hard to delineate what is real. Well, just a few hours ago, it looks like Samba TV decided to update some of their previous reporting on some of the shows that I just mentioned to give it a 6-day metric to compare to Ahsoka. And things, of course, for Ahsoka got a little worse. According to Deadline magazine, the ratings for Master and Apprentice are down by 50% over the Live Plus 5, that would be the 6-day haul, for Obi Wan Kenobi, which dropped on May 27th of last year. That pulled in 2.4 million households. Now, previously, the numbers we had for Obi Wan Kenobi from Samba TV showed a 5-day, not a 6-day measurement, but 5-day at about 2.14, 2.15 million. Once they added that 6th day in to bring it into a comparative range to what they gave us for Ahsoka, Ahsoka has now officially performed at half of Obi Wan Kenobi. And from as best we can tell, about half of the 6-day total that would be the Season 2 premiere of The Mandalorian from a couple of years ago. What's interesting about that is that over time, the Walt Disney Company has added nearly 50% more subscribers to the Disney Plus service, going from around 30 million when Mando Season 2 premiered to today, where there are about 45 million subscribers. Just take a look at the chart we put together with some adjusted 6-day figures from Samba TV. If we go back to the beginning, Mando Season 2. Now, Samba has not completely updated Mando Season 2 with a 6-day estimate. I have requested that, and if that does get updated, I'll let you know. But from as best we can tell, let's be relatively conservative and say somewhere in the vicinity of about 2.4 million in the U.S. households watch the Season 2 premiere of Mando Season 2 in the first 6 days. Then moving along to Book of Boba Fett, collapsing down to 1.7 million. Obi Wan Kenobi vaults back up to 2.4 million, but once again, by the time Obi Wan Kenobi premiered, Disney Plus had gone from 30 million to nearly 45 million subscribers in North America from the time of Mando Season 2. Then Andor absolutely collapsed down to 1.2 million. Mando Season 3 at 1.7 million. Again, now there are 50% more subscribers for Disney Plus in North America than for Mando Season 2, and they still lost 700,000 viewers during those first 6 days. And then, of course, Ahsoka now stands at the bottom of the totem pole, along with Andor, at 1.2 million in the first 6 days. So as Disney Plus subscribers have been going steadily up over the last several years, the overall trend in viewership for Disney Plus's core content, as Bob Iger calls it, that being both Star Wars and Marvel for that matter, have been steadily on decline. What are these new subscribers watching? Is everybody just showing up for Bluey? Let's look at the Disney press release that came out just a few hours ago regarding Ahsoka. This press release is directly from the official StarWars.com website. Ahsoka draws 14 million views for the first episode. And of course, Ahsoka dropped 2 episodes concurrently on its debut. This is just the views on the first episode. Lucasfilm and the Walt Disney Company are thrilled and humbled to announce that Part 1 of Ahsoka, Master and Apprentice was the most watched title on Disney Plus this past week. The debut episode garnered 14 million views, making the series #1 globally on the streaming platform. That does not seem terribly impressive, considering if we were to go back and look up what the numbers that were reported from places like Warner Brothers and even Amazon were for Game of Thrones, House of the Dragon, and The Rings of Power. Those numbers were sharply better than Ahsoka was. Matter of fact, Warner Brothers was touting 10 million views in the United States alone for the premiere of House of the Dragon, just on its opening night. And over the first week, it rose to 20 million views. And those numbers were backed up by Nielsen, which suggests those were, in fact, only in North America. So Disney coming out and saying 14 million views globally for this show, not that impressive, especially when you consider what Amazon was reportedly touting as their global figures for Rings of Power. We were talking about tens of millions of views that they were claiming in the first few days globally. Disney is bragging about 14. And of course, that doesn't really tell us how well this is going to hold up moving forward over the course of time. Now, how did they arrive at those 14 million views, you ask? This is where it gets even stranger. According to Disney, a view in this count is defined as total stream time divided by runtime available. Nielsen measures watch time in terms of minutes watched, and then we can take an episode's runtime, say 30 minutes or 45 minutes, divide that into the total watch time and come up with a relatively good idea of how many total viewers watch the show, given that every person watched the show completely one time. What's odd here is, why does Disney have to do it this way? They don't. This is direct-to-consumer programming, meaning that you have to log into a proprietary Disney service to watch this show. Every time you log in and click a show to watch, a little counter goes off at Disney somewhere. They know who's watching what. They know exactly how many views that a given program has at any given time. So why then do they have to use this metric as opposed to just telling us this is how many views we got? Now, of course, the other side of this too is that we don't know how many of those views were duplicative, meaning, did we actually have 14 million individual households watch this content, or did we have 7 million households around the world that watched the episode twice? This is kind of the frustration with these types of things. There is no transparency really in streaming. We have a few services that are getting us closer and closer, but every time that we have a different set of measurements for a different program, there's no good way to compare the two. If you're comparing it over 2 days, or 3 days, or the first day, or 6 days, or 5 days, how do we really know what's going on? But at the end of the day, the transparency is on Disney's shoulders, and it's on every streamer's shoulders out there. But one thing that we do know for certain is that Star Wars interest and viewership is on a steady and precipitous decline, and it doesn't look like Disney's got anything in the till to bail it out. I really thought Ahsoka could pull some pretty good numbers, at least as good, if not slightly better, than the Book of Boba Fett, but it's nowhere close. Ahsoka was always a fan favorite of the last 20 years, especially for the younger Star Wars generations that might have grown up with the prequel trilogies as opposed to the original trilogies back in the late 70s and into the early 80s. But it seems, alas, that nobody cares. Too much damage has been done to the brand from bad programming like Obi Wan and Book of Boba Fett. We talked about that in the video this morning, and Forbes magazine is even on the same track as we are. But now with these official numbers and the Disney spin machine in full effect, I think this is going to get even funnier. Stay tuned. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe. And until next time, take care.